Hi friends, welcome back to our Control Systems Simplified series. Today we shall discuss about the time response specifications or time domain specifications. Very important specifications which will be taken care while designing the control systems. Now let's understand these few questions in order to understand the time response specifications. If we are understanding the control system, we need to know how fast did the system move to follow the input. How much oscillation is in the response of the system. How long does it take to reach the final value from a practical standpoint of view. So the specifications which answer these questions are usually called the time response specifications. So these are the specifications which quantify the response of a system. These are specified as part of a design requirement of a control system. They also refer generally to the performance indices of the step response of a system. For that matter, any response can be used to generalize and compare systems based on their step response. Now let's consider the step response of an underdamped system as shown below. Now we have a step response. So 0 to 1 is the step input, the dark line that we are giving. This is the step input that we have given. That means if we take a practical example, we have a water already at, let's say, 75 degrees centigrade, and we are suddenly immersing the thermometer into the hot bath. So in that case, from 0 degrees centigrade, we are directly subjecting it to that 75 degrees centigrade, and that's the unity input that we have. Okay, and from then onwards, with respect to time, the temperature remains 75 degrees centigrade. So our thermometer is constantly over a period of time, it remains at the 75 degrees centigrade. So from 0, this is what we normally call it as a step input. So the type of input that we are giving to the thermometer when we insert it in a hot bath of 75 degrees centigrade or 80 degrees centigrade, whatever it is. So the kind of input that we are giving to the thermometer is called as step input. And the diagrammatically we represent it the solid line like this. Now, when the input is given like this, now the instrument thermometer starts responding over a period of time. And then it is how slowly it goes in here, and then it goes, okay, it goes above 1 and comes back, comes down, goes up. These are all normally the decaying oscillations. Okay, if there is no decay, then it will be a continuous sine wave. Right. So here, if you want to understand it further, that is exactly where our time domain specifications come into picture. Similarly, we will see here, number 1 is the delay time, TD. Here, TD is from this to this. This is the time required for the response to reach 50% of the final value at the first instance. So this is the one. So 50% of its final value. The final value is 1. The 50% of its final value is 0.5. And this is the time, if you take from this curve, if you take a straight vertical line onto the x-axis, which is the time. So this is the time, delay time we normally call it, which is nothing but the time required for the response to reach 50% of the final value in the first instance. That's very important. Then we have TR from here, rise time. Okay, so rise time is nothing but the time required for the response to rise from 10% to 90% of the final value for a overdamped system, and from 0 to 100% for an underdamped system in the first instance. That's the rise time you will see here. This is TR. Okay, so this is the rise time up to this. Okay, so for to reach our 75 degrees centigrade or unit step input, what is the time required to reach this point? So 100% for a overdamped system and 90% for an underdamped system. And this time difference is normally taken as the rise time. Then we have peak time, which is nothing but the time required for the response to reach the peak value of the time response. So the output signal is going like this, and it has reached the peak at this value, say 1.4 or something like that. Okay, and then this is the time required for the system, for the output to reach the peak value. So it is the time required for the response to reach the peak value of the time response. So then we have MP, peak overshoot. So from the desired output. So the desired output is always expected to settle down near close within this allowable tolerance. It should settle down into the near the input value. That's the desired value. Okay. So the peak overshoot from the given input is the normalized difference between the peak value of the time response and the steady state value. This is the normalized value of a steady state value. This is what we normally call it as MP. MP is nothing but peak overshoot. That's another time domain specification. Then finally, we have a settling time. This from this to 2 seconds is the settling time, which is nothing but the time required for the response to reach and stay within a specified tolerance band of steady state value, which is usually 2 to 5%. Of the total signal, 2 to 5% is the tolerance band, allowable tolerance band we normally call. So this is the time required for the response, output response to reach and stay within a specified tolerance band. That is exactly what we normally. So these delay time TD, rise time TR, peak time TP, peak overshoot MP, and settling time TS are the time domain specifications or time response specifications. And then let's understand this with an example. In order to, if we want to find the time domain specification of a control system having a closed loop transfer function of 4 by s square plus 2s plus 4, when the unit step signal is applied as an input to this control system. Now the solution to this is we have to get the standard form of the transfer function of the closed loop system. For this, we get omega n square is equal to s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. So although it is termed as delta, let's understand this as zeta, because zeta is the damping ratio which is most commonly used. But here for the sake, we are just putting it as delta. So or we can always understand delta as a damping ratio. Omega n is the natural frequency of the system. Now, if you compare this and this, omega n square becomes 4, and then 2 zeta omega n. 2 zeta, we have 2s here. 2s if it zeta omega n or delta omega n is equal to 1. So in that case, by equating these two transfer functions of a undamped natural frequency, omega n as 2 radians per second and damping ratio delta as 0.5 we will get. Now we know for formula for damped frequency, omega d is omega n square root of 1 minus delta square, where delta is the damping ratio. We also call it as zeta in many textbooks. So now if we substitute omega n and delta values in the above formula, we get WD, damped frequency, as 1.732 radians per second. Now, if delta value in following relation, theta is equal to cos inverse of delta, then from that we get theta is equal to pi by 3 by radians. So angular, this is a angle, okay, at which we have the pi by 3 radians. So theta we got pi by 3 radians, omega d we got 1.732 radians per second, omega n we have 2 radians per second, and delta as 0.5. Now we know all the specifications. Then if we substitute this for a given time domain specification of delay time, the formula is TD is this 1 plus 0.7 delta by n. Delta is damping ratio and omega n is equal to natural frequency. So if we substitute this in this formula, 1 plus 0.7 into 0 by 2, the final value TD is 0.675 seconds. Similarly, for the rise time TR, if you want to calculate pi minus theta by omega d. Okay, pi minus theta by omega d, pi minus pi by 3 by 1.732, we get TR is equal to 1.207 seconds. Peak time TP, we get pi by omega d, whereas pi by 1.732, TP is nothing but 1.813 seconds. And the percentage peak overshoot, MP, we get e power minus delta pi by 1 minus delta square into 100%. We get, if we substitute delta as 0.5, in this we get 16.32%. That's the percentage peak overshoot. Then settling time for 2% tolerance band, 4 by zeta omega n. So 4 by 0.5 into 2. So we get TS is equal to 4 seconds. This is the settling time for the tolerance band. So if you understand this in the equation that we have just seen in this, so we got, okay, this is TD, whatever time we got here, and then TR is up to this, from this to this, TP is from this to this, and TS is from this to this. MP is 16% of overshoot that we are getting. So this is exactly, you will see there is a 5% of tolerance band here. So, but here we can take 2% for this particular problem that we have said. So that is how we understand the time domain specifications. 5 important time domain specifications: TD, TR, TP, MP, and TS. Delay time, rise time, peak time, percentage peak overshoot, and settling time for 2% tolerance. So that's exactly what about the time domain specifications or time response specifications. Thank you very much.